Hello, everyone, and welcome to D&D Night on DDOstream. Right here on Twitch.tv, you will find us playing Dungeons & Dragons Tabletop every Sunday from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on Twitch.tv. Sponsored by Fantasy Grounds. They kicked us some free licenses and that to get us started, and so that is the sponsorship there. You can find out more at fantasygrounds.com. You can sign up for a free account. You don't need to actually pay them any money if you don't want to check it out. And tonight we are going to be doing a special, and I put special as in like after school special or Star Wars Christmas special type special tonight here from about 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be doing a one-off here. I am Cordovan. I'm the community manager for Standing Stone Games, and this is not DDO related tonight. This is from my weird head. So the trick with tonight's one-off is that due to just sort of scheduling and all that sort of thing, I had exactly 1 hour to put together a quick plan of action using Fantasy Grounds. So I thought it might be kind of a good opportunity to actually see what Fantasy Grounds can do for a group like this in 1 hour. In 1 hour there. Okay, now you should be able to hear me okay. You guys all hear me in live audio chat. I'm going to go and do some introductions from the top down here on your screen. Let's start with Emmy. Just give your character name if you want to give anything about what you do on Twitch or what have you. Go ahead, and there you go.
My name is Dismy. He's a half orc barbarian.
All right, very good. Up next is, well, you tell me how to pronounce it even.
Leatrice, and she is an elf. No, she's not a rogue. She's a monk.
Okay. We also have Lynn playing Tabitha. Hello, Lynn.
Hey there, I'll be playing Tabitha, who is a barbarian mountain dwarf.
Very cool. And then finally, rounding out here is Zeph. What do you have in store for me tonight? You tend to throw me for a loop sometimes with your choices. What have you brought to me tonight?
Today's super pedestrian. I'm playing a courier who's ended up saving his queen and got some sponsorship, and so has become a paladin.
Very good. All right, so let me know in Twitch chat here if everything is coming through okay sound-wise. I can always do some adjustments on my end if necessary. Again, tonight is really going to be a little bit more theater of the mind than we often see here for D&D Night on DDOstream. I have characters on a grid, including some NPC characters that perhaps players will be interacting with forcibly, and so they would be able to drag effects and damage and attack rolls and all that sort of thing, to that battle grid. And let me make sure the chicken gets on there. Okay.
I mean, clearly.
Can't forget the chicken.
All right, so tonight's one-off is called The Queen's Game. This takes place in an imaginary world where the queen is in charge of the known world, and the queen has come up with her wizard husband, who is a little bit on the devious and strange, and some say just downright batty side. A game that takes place approximately every 4 years. It's a big celebration around the realm, and usually several thousand people to thousands of people are in attendance. It all depends on what the Queen's Game is. So you see, the trick with the Queen's Game is that it changes every 4 years, but is always something incredibly strange. For example, in the past 4 Queen's Games that have taken place over the last 16 years, we had Who Can Fall into an Ever Increasingly Deadly Pit of Spikes and Not Die, followed by Bake a Cake While Trapped Naked in a Cave, followed by Be the First Person to Genuinely Convince an Entire Town that they are a dog. And then 4 years ago, which really didn't produce a winner, although it certainly was entertaining for a while, was You Need to Climb a Pole Outside of the King's Courtyard with Your Tongue. No one won that 4 years ago. The part of the surprise is what always makes the Queen's game so interesting. I will give you a couple of ground rules here. For example, it is not unheard of for people to meet violent deaths during the Queen's game. Now, the Queen is not an evil person, neither is the world that they inhabit. However, this is a competition that you enter knowing it may be the last thing you ever do. People only enter it if you are crazy enough to not only think you can best the Queen and King's sort of devious ideas, but also that you can survive. And if you're willing to put your life on the line for it, well, then anybody can enter. You do see some combat. You do see sometimes teams of people come in. It is generally teams, like what we're seeing here today. They'll work together sometimes, and then sometimes they will simply try to kill each other. For here's what happens. The team that survives all the way to the end, if they're able to best the Queen's game, they will receive life's treasure for the rest of their days. Few people make it. But those who have, for example, the person that learned how to grow their own wheat and thus bake a cake while trapped in a cave, found themselves never wanting for food, never wanting for housing, never wanting for entertainment, never wanting for coin. They literally live a life as a world champion for the rest of their days. So, we are in the Queen's Courtyard here, and so far all the group knows and all the general public knows is to show up at the gigantic battle arena at midday. Now, this gigantic battle arena is used for gladiatorial combat. They don't do blood sport so much in this realm. However, there are times where warlords want to fight each other to the death. There are times where, legit watched sporting duels to the death makes sense. And so that's why they have the gigantic battle arena. So you've been tasked to arrive at the gigantic battle arena if you are interested in besting the Queen's game at midday. And the four of you have decided to team up as a group to get this done. You know of at least two other teams, which are also represented on this graph paper. There's a team of 3 and a team of 2 that are willing to go into this. Before I kind of get on with the what actually is happening this time around, does anyone have any questions, concerns, things they want to raise, etc.?
You at least get breakfast first?
Yes, as a matter of fact, you if you are going to be a champion, that's what they call everyone who attempts the Queen's game, then you're treated to a hearty breakfast. People cheer you. You have some people selling flags and that with your name hastily scrawled on them, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a big sporting event, and especially because it's taking place at the large battle arena here, this time around, thousands of people have come around in attendance. So, if you can imagine a big gladiatorial arena, and you are down near the entrance to the pits, you have not actually been able to see the inside of the battle arena, although you're hearing some very strange sounds. It sounds like a gigantic barnyard or something like that is perhaps infested there. So that's clue number 1. Clue number 2 that you're in for a weird one is that the crowd is laughing frequently, and you're hearing people mutter, there is no way they're going to do it this year. It's impossible. Not very heartening. So, before you get to see the arena and hear the Queen's command for the game, is there any final comments?
Do we need a weapon?
You'll be getting a weapon. Generally, the way it works is the Queen will announce what the game is, and then, depending on, of course, the event, you will have time to be prepared to bake a cake while being trapped naked in a cave, or that kind of thing. So you do get prep time, generally in the range of a few hours to perhaps even a few days, depending on the nature of the Queen's game.
Fair enough.
So you approach the arena, and you see 2 very strange things in front of you. One, a tall golden pedestal in the very center of the battle arena, approximately 10 foot in diameter, and made of solid gold. At the top, there is a gigantic chalice, and sitting on one end of the dais there, the very raised platform, is the queen and the wizard king. The queen is the one with power. The wizard king really just kind of futzes around and comes up with the queen's game about every 4 years. That's a little weird, because normally they're not on the battle arena itself or in the middle of the game. But the other thing that's a little strange this time is that the entire arena, from as far as you can see, and this is a gigantic arena, somewhat represented by the screen behind you to give you a sense of scale, is top one layer thick, full of clucking chickens. Is a huge cacophony of chicken feathers and clucking and what have you. The wizard casts a small spell so that the queen can speak, and the queen says, "Hear ye, hear ye. Are thee ready for the queen's game?" At which point, the crowd just goes nuts, and you feel a rush, kind of as everyone cheers for your champion. This year, we've come up with a one that I am particularly excited to share with you. We will see if it ends in blood sport or not. This year, teams, you have 4 hours to prepare, and then you must enter this battle arena at our command at the same time, and you must find the chicken that will lay a golden egg. Be gone. And the crowd cheers again. Your keepers bring you kind of outside of the battle arena, and you have 4 hours of prep time to decide how, in an arena full of chickens, will you find the chicken with a golden egg to lay.
Well, all right then.
Very well.
Does anyone know anything about chicken for
You're not coming through.
So I can speak with animals, but do they know they're laying the golden egg?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, that is literally the only information you have. That's typical for this kind of craziness, but clearly there is a chicken in there that has somehow been ensorcered to lay a golden egg.
We can at least try and ask.
There's a lot of chickens there.
Any y'all chickens?
Is there any way to tell which chickens have recently laid eggs? So maybe we could go around looking for a chicken who is potentially about to lay an egg and see if it's golden. It seems incredibly time consuming, but if the talking to chickens thing doesn't work, I don't know what else we've got.
Well, you could do things like give me insight checks or
Are we a
other
team?
checks. Yeah, you are a team, and you can
Okay.
give me checks.
I can
That sort of thing.
cast Beast Sense and speak with animals as a ritual. So, yeah.
So it looks like the speaking with animals part is covered, assuming that chickens can hold a conversation. You will also want to go into, say, the items category and pick up any armaments, armor, weapons, supplies, frankly, anything you can come up with to somehow determine whether or not a chicken is going to lay a golden egg, and be the first team to do so. So just drag it into your sheet. You could pretty much have your pick of the litter, anything that's in there, because this is a big event. You do have a team of people here to service each team as well, in terms of getting them supplies, helping issue the commands that they need to do, that sort of thing. So similar to almost like what you'd see in a reality show in today's non-D&D based world, you do have helpers behind the scene to help execute your plans.
Nothing is showing up under items for me.
Really?
So when I open items, there's nothing there.
Yeah, sounds like that is a thing. Okay.
Go to library and modules and start
Click all.
grabbing modules.
Yeah, do library, make sure all is selected.
Okay.
We
Yours
still get
is not.
limited on
All.
accessing the DMG,
Go
anything
back
in the
one
DMG
level.
though.
See all?
The DMG. OP weapons, you mean?
Oh, wait a second. Maybe this is something I did. Maybe I need to click it to make it visible to you. Sorry.
Possibly.
Yep, that's what's going on.
Okay.
All right, it's all open to you. It'll take a little while for it to load. So, have you guys given any thought, or would you like to do some research? Again, you've got 4 hours here. You could do some research to learn how chickens lay eggs, for example.
Sure, and
Unless you already know that as your character, or
we could
want
probably
to do it.
consult with a diviner.
Well, okay, so that sounds good. So if you want to consult with a diviner, you'll bring a diviner in. The diviner is there, comes up to you and says, "And how may I be of assistance to the champion this fine Queen's game?"
All right. Well, can you divine some clues to which chicken or how we'll find said chicken? Like in what region of the arena that it will be found?
Okay. That sounds perhaps a little difficult to do, but I will do my best and return with any answer I might receive.
Okay.
And the person goes away. I mean, you know, who's the barbarian? Is that
Me.
Yep. Okay. So
I'm a barbarian too.
okay. So the
We're both
barbarians.
barbarians.
You guys just know due to life's knowledge and that sort of thing that with some rural background in your lives that chickens generally lay eggs at around the same time in their life cycle, starting within a year or two of them being born. They usually start essentially laying an egg. It's somewhere within one a day to a couple of times per week, depending on their diet and things like that. So you know that it's not so much like an action that takes place that causes a chicken to lay its egg as it is rather its stage in life cycle. And then after a certain stage in their life cycle, they just start laying eggs. So you know that much. And if you want to find out like how to know whether or not a chicken's about to lay an egg, maybe there's some things you can do some research on.
It's funny because Groovy and I actually own chickens, so I actually know all this, and I'm like, what would I know?
Okay, no, that sounds good. Let's go with it then. You can bring that knowledge into the game here.
Very well.
Yep.
As a long time chicken.
But
chicken
wait, how much chickens do you guys have that give out golden eggs?
Oh, I don't have a golden egg chicken, but I've had regular chickens.
Oh.
And yeah, pretty much they'll just start bakawking really loud, and that means they're getting ready to lay their egg, and then they lay it, and then they kind of announce it for about 5 minutes or so, and then they go about their business. They usually lay kind of earlier in the day. What time of day are we going to be going in?
Well, it's midday now, and they gave you about 4
In
hours,
4 hours.
So approximately late afternoon.
Oh,
So probably getting ready to lay.
but we might not be able to even see which one lays the golden egg till tomorrow morning if they usually lay early.
Right.
What we should do is listen for the loudest bakawking and follow it.
There's
Yes,
a
'cause
whole
they're-
arena full. I mean, there are literally you
they're
have no
very
idea how many there are.
proud.
But
They're very proud when they lay their egg. They have a certain cackle that they do after they lay their egg.
however,
We
would
call it
you
the
be
hey,
able
I
to?
laid an egg.
Let me just caution though that we do have an entire arena full of chickens, so there is a lot of squawking and stuff going on, enough that you could hear it outside of the arena.
Wow. I wonder if there's any way to tell by looking which chicken has been enchanted. Like, is there a little aura around it, maybe?
That sounds like a pretty good line of investigation. After all, chickens do not normally lay golden eggs, do they?
to know if I've never had chickens.
And actually, you know, specifically the queen did say it has been enchanted to lay a golden egg.
Right. So, a wand of detection would be handy.
That can be found for you. However, the person who, the sort of items master for the event, does warn you that that was pretty much the first thing both the other teams got to.
Sure.
Can I get a big battle axe? Enchanted one?
Only enchanted up to +1.
It's okay.
That's about the best that they can kind of procure for you
+1?
on short notice.
Fair enough. I'll grab a +1 battle axe. Or maybe a +1 shield?
It is certainly possible that you're going to have two teams try to attack you. Now, you know from the history of it, it generally goes one of two ways. Just generally through history, what people say. It's either an immediate bloodbath, as each team tries to eliminate each other, or it becomes quickly lopsided as some of the teams group together to get past this part of the event, at least. And then there are times where everyone just kind of knows how impossible it is, so works independently and basically ignores each other. It can go either way, really. So you really don't know what they're going to do.
The most grisly way to do this would just be to start ripping chickens apart because the egg's already there. I'm not suggesting we do. I'm saying somebody might.
We do have
As
two
soon as you
barbarians.
say that, you see Dismy's eyes just light up. Okay.
I mean, we
We have two barbarians, and I'm guessing barbarians, in my experience, don't have a lot of scruples. Could the barbarians just like pick up the chickens and hold them upside down and try to?
I will squish the chicken. I will
See if
squish.
there's a golden. What if you squish the golden egg?
I will squish that golden egg out of the chicken.
I mean, you can certainly try. I'm not going to tell you whether it'll work or not.
If we squish all the queen's teeth
I'm
and-
going to ask for a +1 battle axe and a +1 shield.
Yeah, you basically can get anything that you want to, just to announce it to voice chat here so everyone on the stream can hear.
Okay. I'll need the best suit of heavy armor I can get.
Again, you get things up to +1. That's what they can procure. It's basically finely made, high quality, non-magical armor.
My fantasy grounds is just freezing, so I'm
It's probably loading all that stuff that I
gonna
had
be
loaded.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still
I'm not getting the item list. I don't know if it's just slow or.
Try redoing it.
I did. I've opened and closed it several times.
All right. Well, worst case scenario, I'll just drag it to your character.
I would like something that. Let's see. I don't. Whoever rolled up this character. I'm picking on you. Did
Remember,
not
this
get-
is all done within an hour here, so there.
I do have
it's-
insight.
So
I would kind of like something that will give me a little more insight and just a nice set of hand wraps and a monk outfit.
Well, there's nothing like that really in terms of magic items available to you. Hand wraps don't really exist in 5th Ed. Do
Okay.
they?
I can fight bare hand.
You can get some wraps, maybe brawling gloves or something if you want.
I'm going to need potions.
Okay. General quality potions are available.
I need fly, heal.
Okay, is this, before I get to this, are you guys able to drag this to your own characters? Is anyone able to?
Yes. Yeah.
I am
I'm just letting them know. Letting people know about what I'm grabbing.
Okay.
How about some X-ray glasses to see through the chickens to the eggs?
yeah,
I would take a pair of those.
Sorry, what was
Yeah.
that?
Oh, I was joking. I said, how about a pair of X-ray glasses to see through the chickens to the
Yeah,
eggs?
see, that's the thing. They can't do that kind of like rare magical item at a moment's notice like that. So, it's sort of the nature of the event that it has to be within some reason. They can get you like a telescope or eye scope or something if that would be helpful.
Sure. Yeah,
All right.
I can't do anything with items. It's just freezing. So I guess I have what I have on my character.
Well, that's okay. That's fine. I think it'll probably fix itself eventually. You just have to load all the various modules.
It's not loading for me either.
Well, hers is different. Hers is because it's loading the modules. Yours is a visibility issue.
Where's the regular sheet?
Can I get an oversized bow?
Yes.
But yeah, if you have some kind of a spyglass or binoculars or telescope, anything, that I would definitely take one of those.
All right.
Yeah, if we all get those and like look around. So what I know of chickens is they don't lay eggs until they're about 5 months old, and generally they lay for a couple years, and then they either can continue laying till they're like 20, or they just kind of stop and they hang around your yard and eat your food. But you can't really tell the difference. I mean, you can tell the two young ones, but you cannot tell the two old ones.
So, in preparation for tonight's show, I went to the arbiter of all knowledge, YouTube, and actually did a Google search for how to tell if a chicken is laying an egg. And I received numerous videos that told me in multiple bullet-pointed / numbered formats how to tell when your chicken's laying an egg. And they did all tend to agree on 3 things. So I'm going to be including those if you happen to know that.
But yes, our chickens have a very distinctive I've laid an egg song that they sing afterwards. So we can tell when we're across the yard, like, oh, there's fresh eggs.
All right. So kind of give me a sense of, maybe as a group or whatever, how what you might be conversing about, how to actually tell. So you've got potions, you've got some spy glasses, some ways to kind of hunt around the arena for chickens. It's a sea of chickens. You have a wand of detection. We should probably look that one up just to make sure that's in front of us for how it works.
Now,
Detect magic.
what is the is there like straw and stuff on the ground? What's the ground like here?
It's your typical kind of sandy dirt floor arena.
Okay, because I mean, they lay in boxes normally. Although I guess ones that are just kind of out on the farm.
Well, this is
lay
sort
it
of
wherever,
chaos.
but-
They're all just sort of squawking and running
Yeah.
around. There's a million. Well, you don't know if there's a million. You have no idea how many chickens can go per square feet, but you certainly know it's got to be thousands.
Well,
Right.
if a chicken is about to lay an egg, is it going to be running all around?
No, they sit. Well, normally they sit in their little egg box and holler about it for a
I
while.
don't see any egg boxes, but I'm just thinking, if a chicken's about to lay an egg, it's like, I don't know about chickens, but I know like cats, people. If you're about to give birth, you're not dashing all around. You're
Yeah,
kind of getting yourself quiet.
So if it's sand, what they'd probably do is like scratch a little bit of a hollow to make kind of a nest and use that.
So we should kind of see, like, maybe look over the sea of chickens, because they all, nearly all of them seem to be, I hate to use the phrase, running around like chickens with their heads cut off, but running around like chickens with their heads cut off. So I'm thinking a chicken that is not moving so much is probably going to stand out. Maybe we should look for chickens like that.
Let's just kill all the chickens.
Why are you on my team?
It is the way to do it. I'm not saying we should. I'm just saying we could.
Let's see.
Let's
The
start by
diviner.
killing
Yes,
the
the
other
diviner.
champions.
The diviner comes back and says, I have cast an augury, and I've cast all of the best that I can do, and I have received a cryptic message that I felt worth passing along to you.
Okay.
And the message was that you'll see it with their eyes. I'm not quite sure what that means, but you'll see it with their eyes.
Oh. So
So do their eyes look different if they're about to lay an
Tabitha,
egg?
and
Or if there's one enchanted chicken, will the other chickens maybe sense this and look at that chicken a little funny?
maybe they're pretty xenophobic chickens.
Yeah,
Um,
like so if me and Disney ask them like who's the weird chicken and they all are like it's Samantha over there, then we start with the Samantha.
I
Well, for
would
that matter, you
note,
can
however, Zeph, that when he comes up to talk to you, you smell a huge amount of alcohol on his breath, so it's not really clear that he was actually in the best state of mind to be providing this info to you, but maybe.
I mean, barbarians don't have a lot of scruples. I don't want to squish the chickens.
I will.
I'm a monk, but since barbarians generally don't have a lot of scruples, not to stereotype you, couldn't you just like start picking up chickens and
I'm going to start just
looking to see?
slashing.
I think maybe you could kind of like. I'm trying to think how to put this delicately. Kind of examine the chicken to see if it may contain a golden egg.
I will cut open the chicken for you, Beatrice.
That's kind of what I was hoping to avoid. I was thinking more of kind of family show.
Are you
Forgive
just
me.
want us
I
to
called
their
you
blood?
a for a chicken.
okay. I'm looking for a potion of gaseous form. Does that sound reasonable?
No. They can't find a potion of gaseous form for you. The reason for that is I know how OP gaseous form can be, because you can like travel all the way around the world. It's kind of ridiculous.
Okay.
Let's kill all the other champions first.
What other champions did we see? Like who are we up against here?
Good question. Why don't you give me a check of some kind, and we will see what you can tell about them.
Oh, by the way, just because all on modules doesn't load them all, you have to go through and actually load the ones manually that you want, and suddenly I can see the items.
Fantastic.
Okay, Disney, you got a pretty good check. You take a look at Champion A, and this looks like a rugged human figure, darker skinned, rough skin, probably used to living outside. Does appear to be some kind of fur trapper, hunter, trader, something like that. That doesn't necessarily sound great. They probably seem to know a lot about animals, were you to guess, because they seem like the kind of person who would be just fine out in the woods by themselves.
Okay.
Champion B, you mostly just see through a set of ceremonial armor. It's actually not made of metal. And Champion D looks to be pretty tough. Very strong, very athletic. Clearly somebody who is pretty at home in a sporting arena.
The first one, the dark rough skin hunter of some kind, is that A?
Yes.
Okay, we got to kill that guy. I relate this information with the
It's
group.
hard to see Champion E and F. You only got a glimpse of them. You know, they kind of had you in a triangle format, and with all the chickens and the dais and everything, it was kind of hard to see Champion E and F. But as you guys have been preparing, you see them along with yourself kind of huddling in these large kind of underground planning rooms and hallways and things like that. Champion E, all you can really tell about Champion E is that female.
Would you mind sharing the grid again? Because my whole thing crashed and I don't have it anymore.
No problem. Also not wearing armor. Not looks a little on the weaker side, so probably not a fighting type, but you never know. And then Champion F, about all you really could see about that person is they look like a gladiator.
Are we
Like
all
they'd be at home
in
an
the
arena.
same room?
No, this is just kind of cumulatively over the course of these 4
Okay.
hours, as
I'm
you saw them at the
going
very
to-
start, and then as you've been kind of doing your planning.
I'm going to ask, is there a guard near? Someone that can help me out with something?
Yep. There's people here to help you out
Hey.
until we get started here.
Hey, you. I need you to get a message out for me.
Okay.
You see that beautiful champion over there with the gladiator?
Yes.
It's only a group of 2, I believe. Tell them if they want to be our allies. I think we would both benefit from this.
Sounds like you want me to be involved in the games. What's in it for me?
I will not cut you open in this second.
He's not kidding.
I'm rolling intimidation.
Okay. All right. The person is like, all right. I was just asking. So he goes over to Champion E, and they have a brief conversation. Is there anything else someone wants to do until they return? What else did people have in mind?
I'm just kind of looking around for chickens that aren't running all over.
Well, you don't see the chickens now because you're kind of under the arena. You're on the inside of the arena, right? This is the floor of the gladiatorial arena where all the chickens are, along with that big golden dais where the queen and the wizard king are sitting. Also, you notice a table. And actually, if someone wants to give me another check, maybe I can tell you a little more.
Insight okay?
Perception?
No, perception really is more appropriate than insight.
Yeah, but you didn't give me proficiency in.
All right. Tabitha, I think you're not sure if anyone else noticed this, but not only was there a table set between the king and the queen, but it looked like it was set for a meal.
They're gonna eat the golden egg.
All right. The other thing I would mention then, Zeph, you noticed that although there are a lot of chickens in the arena, they did scale it out so there was basically one chicken layer thick, so they're not, on top of each other outside of the standard kind of fluttering around that chickens do. So you at least aren't going to be walking through seas of chickens. And let's see. Did you give me a roll, even?
I didn't, but I could.
Yeah, let me know what you kind of want to look at and give me a perception check or something like that.
That's weird.
I'm dragging the wrong thing. I notice absolutely nothing.
So does anybody have a way to make the queen tell us which chicken it is?
I'm not positive that would be the best thing.
There's no rule here, man. They're out in the middle of all these chickens.
Oh, so like a helmet telepathy wasn't such a bad idea. looking at. Um,
So the other thing I can do, you mentioned the guy mentioned seeing through its eyes, so I'm able to do that if we grab a chicken. I'm not sure what good it would do, but we could try it.
All right. So I am going to give you just a few more minutes here to do any kind of thinking, planning, whatever, and then we are going to say the time is up. So clock is ticking here. If you've got any kind of last minute thoughts, plans, things you want.
Well, if you think you can see through the chicken's eyes, I am small and quick, being a monk, so I could probably grab a chicken and you could do your thing.
All right, let's do that. Hey, does anybody on the stream have an idea for us they want us to try? Because we can do that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've got two more items. Eyes the Eagle and a Gem of Seeing.
Tell me about that gem of seeing.
It's true seeing.
That sounds pretty high level.
Yeah. It is rare.
Yeah, I'm going to say no to that one. The other one's fine.
Okay.
Eyes of the Eagle is basically goggles, is that right? That give you a bonus on perception checks?
Yep.
All right.
You get advantage on your perception checks that rely on sight.
Great. I came up with that one from my head. Everyone thinks I don't know this stuff. All right. Well, if that's that, then the time is up. The gong has rung. There's a big reverberation throughout. Kaboom! That normally signals the start of whatever gladiatorial sport might be going on. And you are led back into the arena. Let's say it's sort of relative to you, a triangle with you at the top, right? So each team is going to be in a position here towards the top. And actually, I might as well rearrange this then according to geography. Now, you'll see on the graph paper, I do have a spot for a chicken. The reason I wanted to do that is so that we'd have a chicken example to cast effects on and things like that. It is not necessarily the chicken, that is a chicken, as, makes the most sense. Now, we're going to just be in line order here so that we can, swap effects and attack rolls and what as we need to. But for the most part, you just tell me what you're doing and where you are, and we're going to do this first edition / non-grid 5th edition style, where it's like I run up to them and attack. That kind of thing is fine, okay?
Nice.
However, let's all roll for initiative.
Oh boy.
Sure.
Now I roll a 19.
Okay.
Well, 21 my bonus.
For some reason, I'm not getting some of my players to do initiative rolls. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong there. I think it's because I need to claim these champions or something. All right, so we'll just have them go after you guys. And it should swap out just about every round. All right, so you go back to the arena, and the queen's voice is enchanted once more. There's thousands of people cheering and all around as far as the eye can see in this gigantic sort of gladiatorial arena. The queen says, "Welcome once again to the queen's game for this year. Remember, the rules are find the chicken that laid a golden egg, or that lays a golden egg. Also, we'll have bonus rounds this year," at which point everyone goes crazy and your gut kind of sinks. Bonus rounds?
Did she actually say laid and then change it to lays, or was that you?
That was... You know what? I'm going to roll with it, yeah. She did say that.
So apparently, this chicken has already at some point laid a golden egg before.
Right.
Okay, not to be indelicate, but the inside of a regular egg is kind of soft and squishy. A golden egg is going to be pretty much hard all the way through. We could look for a chicken with a sewer butt.
It's true.
You see off in the distance the two teams. You know, they're sort of, if you imagine a gigantic circle for the arena and you're at the top and they're in each other corner. So the three, if you were to line all three of you up, you'd be in a triangular state with the dais in the center and chickens as far as the eye can see. You see them getting ready to go and pretty well armed, you think. With that, the cheers die down, and the queen says, "And now, let the games begin." And the crowd cheers, and you get to decide what you're doing. Leatrice, you're up first.
I am going to attempt to grab a chicken so that Tabitha can try to see through its eyes.
Okay. Oh, by the way, I actually came up with this as well. The way I'm going to work the grabbing of chickens thing is it is either a movement action or a regular action or a bonus action, depending on what your abilities and that let you do, right? But it is one of those three things. It's not a free action to grab a chicken. It will be regular, but you can also trade that for movement or for, a bonus action you might have. Additionally, if you want to scan for chickens, look for chickens, you'll be doing some kind of related check. And that can be done either as an action or as a movement action or as a bonus action, depending on whatever works best for you. Because I'm going to let you, I can imagine, for example, you might cast a spell and then look around to see what the chickens are like around you. So you'll be able to do that on your turn, for example, even if you would normally have just one action. However, if you choose to move, then that would be something you would have to do instead. Everyone make sense?
Sure.
I am fine with using an action to grab a chicken. Do you want some kind of a check to see if I succeed?
Well, yes. For a couple of reasons. Also, give me a check and let me know what. I mean, there's chickens as far as the eye can see. Are you just going to grab the first random chicken that seems grabbable? Or are you going to be looking for a specific chicken?
I'm kind of checking to see if any of them are kind of more squatting and still instead of moving all over.
Well, at least around you, they're all seem to be pretty kind of crazed. Of course, that could be because they're being bashed up against your legs and that by the other chickens. And, they're a little whatever. But give me a check of... So here's how... basically, we're just going to do a perception check if you wanted to do a look. And, I don't know, some other kind of...
I was thinking maybe
dexterity stat check of some kind, either a strength, dexterity, intelligence, if you were to say, try to be like, I want to find a very specific chicken, or maybe wisdom if it was some sort of insight related grab, or we'll figure it out, basically.
Well, I'm thinking since Tabitha's going to try to see through the chicken's eyes, which chicken I pick doesn't really matter that much.
All right. Well, why don't you just do a basic strength check then, or dexterity check, whichever you prefer. Okay, and we'll see where we end up.
Actually, they're only in 1 point difference.
Give me your roll. All right. So, after some fumbling around, because, I mean, it's not like you've grabbed a lot of chickens in your life, you do manage to grab one, and unfortunately, after grabbing one, you're like, wait a second, that one there, I think that one's fatter. And so I think you just kind of got a plain old chicken. Although, I don't know, what are you going to look? What are you going to do?
I'm going to pass it to Tabitha. So
You're not
on her
on.
turn,
You're not in voice.
I'm going to pass it to Tabitha so that on her turn she can do the thing where she tries to look through its eyes.
Great. Okay. That sounds good. All right. That's your turn then. Zeph, what are you up for?
I'm going to also look across all the chickens using these nice eyes of goggles I've got on.
All right, let's see a good perception check there.
And try to see what I can see. See what's going on out there. Give me perception. It's with advantage. Stupid thing. There we go. 18.
All right, not bad. Not exceptional in terms of the roll. However, you see, it looks like there are clusters of chickens together, and then there are some that maybe look more sickly, and there are some that look more active. So it does look like you could target less active chickens specifically if you wanted to.
Okay, I'll point that out to everyone over there real quick. And then I guess I'll start moving that way.
All right, so you kind of look for a more sparse cluster of less active chickens. Is that right?
Yep.
All right, so you find one, within about 10, 15 feet away that looks pretty good, and you don't have a bonus action or anything, right?
No,
Yeah.
I'm not using anything for a bonus action. So
Okay. So Tabitha, it's up to you. What are you going to do? You're going to try to look through a chicken's eyes. How are you going to do that?
Yes. Let's see. It is. It's a touch action, so I will start gently petting the chicken and clucking to her.
Is there any check on, say, whether or not they're charmed or whatever it is?
Let's see. I have a chicken targeted, and it just says effect. So let me just click on that and see.
And just remind me of what the specific effect you're doing is.
This is Beast Sense. Let's see.
Are you a barbarian?
Yes.
Okay, it's going to take 11 minutes for you to do that.
10.
No, it says casting time 1 action.
But it's a ritual. So it's going to be 10 minutes, 6 seconds for you to do it.
Oh, wait a second. Casting time 1 action. Why would it say that? And where? I'm not seeing it on your... where is that?
Because they're totem.
As the
barbarians.
path of the totem, you get 2 abilities, Beast Sense and Speak with Animals, but you only get them as rituals.
Okay. Well, then I will pet the chicken for 10 minutes.
All right. Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds fine. Like I say, we're not specifically grid-based here. We'll sort of say you're petting it, and you could still do that while, say, wandering around, or perhaps even, looking for other chickens and things like that too.
Yes, basically, I'll just kind of wander around, petting her and talking to her while I'm doing the thing, and just kind of looking around.
But ultimately, there's no kind of saving throw or check or anything like that. It's just
It's a willing creature. So it would have to be a willing.
all right. Well, it isn't biting your hand, so that's a good thing. Disney, what about you?
I know how to soothe chickens.
I'm gonna look at the. I'll look at the other guys, see what they're looking. I want to see if they are being a little bit of hostile, or they are just trying to focus on finding the chicken. Would you like a perception check?
Sorry, could you repeat that one more time?
Yep, sure. I want to look at the other champions to see if they are not being hostile, or
Okay.
if they're just looking for a chicken.
Sounds good.
Ooh.
That's, however, good enough, because it's a pretty basic thing. You see that they are also, both teams are just looking at the chickens around them to try to, I guess, figure out how in the world to do it. They're just sort of in a sea of chickens, but they are not, however, like, say, running towards you or what have you.
Fair enough. I'll grab a chicken.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll dexterity?
Or strength, whatever makes sense for you.
Strength it is.
Like I said, you could even do intelligence or wisdom, to be your role if you can make it work. Yeah, so you grab a chicken, and what are you going to try to do to see if it's somehow really a golden egg?
Would you say, how much can I move? Can I move a little bit, like, away from my team?
No, not at this point, because you did the
Okay.
look action and the grab action.
Would you say there's a lot of noise right now?
Definitely. It's deafening.
I'm going to try to squish it to see if I can find it inside.
All right, you
Just give it a little squishy, just really quick to see what I can, feel inside of it.
Now, are you trying to kill it, or are you just trying to
No,
kind of
no,
like
I'm
give it a?
trying to just quick squish, with all the strength that I got, but just quick.
Well,
not trying to kill it.
You definitely don't feel something that looks like you don't feel an egg. I guess that's about the best I can tell
throw
you.
it.
All right, it goes back into the pile. All right, so now the chickens cluck around, and the champions you see basically are doing the same thing you're doing, although it looks like while they're doing it, you see a lot of talking from the sides of their mouths for ENF. They're coming up with something there. So let's go back to the top. Leatrice.
Oh boy. Well, yeah, we could. I'm reading Twitch chat, and BG Drizz. We could just super murder every chicken, but I'm a peaceable monk, so I don't really like that idea. I am going to grab another chicken and see if it feels. See if I can feel anything inside the chicken. By gently squishing it.
Okay, give me a roll.
It's going to be heavier.
I don't really know much about relative chicken density, so...
That is a good point, though. By doing these chicken actions, you are getting the sense of how much a regular chicken weighs. So
this is only the second chicken I've ever picked up, and I mean, you tell me, was it the same size as the first chicken? Like, if it's a little smaller, but I pick it up and it feels heavier, I could be like, guys, I might have something.
All right, we'll give you your roll. You pick up a chicken, again, not easily, and you give it a squeeze, but the thing is, it's just like there's like kind of a rib cage looking thing, and so you're not really, you're not trying to necessarily prod in the location where eggs typically come from. So you just said squeeze it, right? So not like you would necessarily want to do that anyway, but I'm just saying, for example, if you're just squeezing the side of a chicken, you're really just going to be getting the wings of the chicken and the ribs of the chicken, which you do get a sense of now.
I did say that I was going to try to feel for an egg, so clearly I would hope that I've had enough education to know that eggs don't come out of wings.
Good point. Okay, you however do not find anything amiss with this chicken. Yeah, I'm not going to give you guys any more hints. Is there anything you were going to do, Leatrice? Anything left? You could say, for example, move around or take a perception action, something like that.
Is talking a free action?
Yeah.
I'm going to look the chicken directly in the eye and say, excuse me, do you know which one of these chickens is the enchanted one that lays golden eggs? It's a long shot, but what the heck?
Yeah, it clucks a little bit. However, you notice it has... Wait a second, what color are chicken's eyes? Red, right?
Depends on the chicken. Some of them are black.
Black or red, right? All right, so it's got like black eyes. And wait a second, you did hear something about eyes, didn't you?
We sure did.
What's in your eyes? Is there maybe a chicken with transparent eyes instead of black or red?
Golden eyes.
Glowing eyes.
Ooh! I wonder if the chicken's eyes are gold.
You're relating this information to us?
Yes, I absolutely.
I think we just had that discussion.
All right. Let's move on to Zeph.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna add detect magic to my scan via the wand. I'll mark it off.
I love
And
Chad, does anyone have food that could be a laxative? Oh, I should have saved a piece of pizza. Darn it.
I actually
And,
do have, but not laxative.
Chickens will eat anything.
All right, so wand detect magic basically detects the presence of a magical object within 30 feet of the wand.
or spell, but yeah.
Yeah, well, in this case, the wand. You do not sense any magic within 30 feet. That's 30-foot radius, right?
It's a cone.
Oh, it's a cone?
Yeah, it's gonna be like so you see it. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, you sort of swing it around then, and definitely do not sense any magic within 30 feet.
Okay, and in that case, I'm gonna keep. I'm kind of moving towards the place setting.
Yeah, I was going to move towards the queen with that thing.
I mean, yes, I'm moving towards the place setting.
Not menacingly.
All right, that sounds fine. You can't get there on this turn, but you are definitely on your way there.
Okay.
Tabitha, what are you going to do?
I am still talking to my chicken. Her name is Bertha. We have quite a rapport developed. However, I'm not sure if I can see through her eyes yet, because it takes a little while, correct?
Now, you had some experience with chickens, correct, that will take a little bit of time here. However, you do have some experience, if I recall, earlier with chickens, correct? So why don't you give me another
Yes.
roll here?
What kind of roll? Perception?
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's performance. I rolled a 20 on performance. Okay. There we
That
go.
ain't bad.
Yeah, very good. So you actually remember two things. One, chickens tend to initially start to lay eggs when they are prepared, where they're getting ready to mate. And two, I think the chicken loves you.
Oh, I love you too.
Oh, I'm like seeing where this is going and so glad it's Tabitha and not me.
So, but that does remind you that it's a certain life stage, right? They need to be getting ready to mate before they generally start laying their first egg. And after that point,
Are
they
there
will
any
continue to lay.
roosters here, or is it all hens?
Well, you haven't asked to look yet.
Because you can tell that. Are there roosters?
You don't see any immediately around you without a check, just like a passive perception there. All right, Dismay. Disney, it's your turn. Maybe voice is off, or perhaps he's briefly AFK.
Sorry.
Oh, no problem. If you have to go AFK, that's fine, no problem. I will also point out that it also occurred to you, Tabitha, I'm going to give you a bonus here while we wait, that you noticed the black eyes as well, and remember that there are actually multiple color chicken eyes that are possible depending on the kind of chicken.
Before getting in here, I did ask for chicken food. I'm going to start throwing some chicken food around as my bonus action.
Ooh,
Get
sweet.
them all in a little, just put them in one place and get all
I
the
have never
chickens.
seen a tidal wave of chickens before. This should be good.
So you're going to throw them
Front
away from
of
you, right?
No. I'm going to throw it in front of Seth.
Why in front of Zeph?
Because he's got the magic wand, and
Okay.
chickens will get.
Well, that sounds like a target then, so why don't you give me a check or a roll?
Sure. Which one would you like?
Yeah, whatever you want to do. Whatever makes the most sense. So I would say either strength or dexterity. All right. So you make a throw, and it does kind of fan out, so it doesn't concentrate quite as well as you would expect. But the feed does go in a line from you to Zeph, and that causes basically a wall of chickens to form between you and Zeph. A wall of fighting, scratching, hungry chickens.
I'm going to not do anything. I'm going to wait for Seth to do his thing. And if it doesn't work, I'm just going to start killing chickens.
All right. So you see the champions also picking up chickens. However, it looks like champion E and F have stopped looking around and are walking as well toward the dais. Leatrice, your turn. Oh, and the chickens just kind of keep clucking and clucking and clucking.
Like they do.
Oh, I just had an idea, and just that fast, it left me.
What?
Oh, actually, all these chickens are scrambling for food. Since talking is a free action, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, talking's a free action.
I am going to say to Tabitha, if a chicken is about to lay an egg, is it going to be hungry? Is it going to be interested in food?
Not so much.
Okay, I am going to look around all these chickens madly scrambling for food and see if there are any quieter chickens who don't seem interested in food.
Okay. Give me a perception check, or whatever is relevant to you.
I have insight and stealth. That's all you gave me.
Well, yeah, that'll work. Insight's fine. However, you did not. As far there's just too many chickens. There's too many chickens.
I suck too badly.
And so, are you going to try to grab one or what?
Well, as long as I can still do that, as long as I've still got an action with which to do that, sure, I will grab a chicken. You want a dex check?
Yes. Ooh, there you go. And you scoop one up just like that. So much so that I'm going to give you a bonus action on that as well, so you got an extra thing to do. You do see that this chicken is clearly pretty listless and kind of getting ready to... I mean, you don't know that a chicken's ready to lay an egg, but it seems certainly like it's not going after the food. And what do you want to do for your bonus action?
As my bonus action, is any of that chicken food, did any of it land near me, and is any of it left?
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to... I don't know if I can I both scoop up some food and offer it to the chicken while petting it?
Yeah, yes-ish. You can scoop up a little food or a couple of granules of like chicken feed and kind of
I'm just
cup
going
it
to
and that sort of thing.
just offer it a little food and murmur to it and stroke it and keep it safe and comfy in my arms.
Okay. With a squawk, a regular egg falls out of it.
Is me or Zeph that wants to kill all the chickens? Because I got one for you.
If that egg smashed on the ground, now all the other chickens around it are eating it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
You're welcome for dinner.
Zeph, you are walking distinctly towards a group of less active chickens with your wand of detect magic for 30 feet. You know that by the end of your movement at the end of that turn, none of that section of 30 feet had thus far shown any magical activity.
Right. And other than that, I'm proceeding towards the table setting.
All right. You get within earshot of the table by the end of your turn here. It's still far enough away, but you could yell at the top of your lungs.
Right. And as I look over the table as a court functionary, once once upon a time. Does the table look set correctly?
It looks set for a typical meal with plates, fork, knife, glass. No indication of what kind of dinner it is, but, I mean, let's be real here.
Only for the winners.
Probably not fish.
Yeah, probably not fish. And then I guess I'll scan the chickens around this area as well as just regular looking for anything suspicious.
You scan and scan and scan. And why don't you give me a perception check?
Sure thing.
All right, that is good enough. So, in the tower, I secretly made a roll that was very, very good for you. So, at the very end of your wand scanning, wait a second. You're detecting some magic. It is off about 30 feet away from you, so it would basically be a full movement to get there. But you see what looks like a flicker of magic there.
Okay.
What are you going to do to indicate that, and or do you not want to let on what's going on?
I am not going to let on what's going on, other than I'm going to turn and be like, hey guys, you should check this out. And I'm pointing at the table, though I'm not really interested in the table. But that gets people towards me.
Okay. Tabitha.
Funnily, I was going to start heading towards the table anyway.
That sounds about right? Because you had done a perception action and a movement action during that turn. Am I reading that correctly, Zeph? I think so, right? You didn't have another action going.
Yep.
Okay, so Tabitha, sorry.
Yes. So I'm also I'm going to start heading towards the table with my chicken. What I name her? Bertha? I've already forgotten her name. I'm sorry, Bertha. And I am scanning chickens as I go.
In the interest of sort of letting this actually work and everything, I'm going to split the difference between a ritual and an action and say, by the end of your turn, you have established a strong friendship with this chicken. You know, not only is this chicken looking to mate, but it is ready to drop an egg. You also know it is it would really be one of the first eggs the chicken's dropped, but even a chicken would know if it's got a golden egg inside of it, you might think. And it's not distressed or anything.
Right. I'm also keeping my eye out for any roosters, but I haven't seen one so far, I think.
No, you definitely do not see any roosters around you.
And the other thing is, because I did grow up on a farm, I do know the I've laid an egg song, and it is different than the just clucking around song. So am I hearing any of that kind of thing?
Give me a listen check or something.
Listen. Okay, hold on.
Also perception.
Is that perception?
Yeah, that'd be fine. Okay, I mean, you recognize that you hear a few, so there are there's lots of chickens laying eggs around here. Maybe not 4 out of every 5 or anything, maybe it's 1 out of every 50, but there's definitely lots of chickens laying eggs around here.
Very well. So,
all right.
Yeah, I'm just moving towards the table.
And let's say you get to basically around Zeph's location then at the end of your turn. Does that sound about right?
Yep.
All right, Dismay, what's up?
Hey, so when Seth said, "Hey guys, check this out," did I notice something funny in the way he said it?
Yeah, you guys had basically, a planned ahead. If we see it, this is what we're going to do thing, and he's got that look.
So I want to attempt to grab a chicken and run away from them and say, I got it! We won! To get the attention out of Zeph.
Okay, can you give me a performance check?
For sure. Which I am proficient in. With a 2. Oh, Lord.
All right,
I
so
would like to use my inspiration.
okay, that sounds good. What does that do? Yeah.
No,
Oh my gosh!
No way. Okay, for two night
no.
ones in a row, I mean,
I,
I know my side, but
I'm out. I'm out. I'm out.
Okay, so here's the plus side. You definitely have the attention not just of the other contestants, but also of the audience. It may be because you accidentally stepped on a chicken, it squawked away, you slipped underneath it, fell forward, the chicken went flying up into the air and smashed against the dais, at which point it died, and the queen and the king screamed as it, surprised them. And then you fell on your face in a whole bunch of chicken droppings that obviously have begun accumulating, and the entire stadium erupts in
I'm
laughter.
done. I am done.
The two champions E and F are now at the dais. Champions A, B, and D are making a beeline, however, towards you, Disney. However, they are basically, about a third of the way triangle size around the arena, so they're not getting to you anytime soon, but they are definitely booking towards you.
Oh, this is about to be fun.
And let's see. Suddenly, among the lady in blue, Champion E, she waves her hand and a wall of fire erupts in a long searing line all the way towards the entrance. About 60 feet, 20 feet high, 1 foot thick. A gigantic wall just searing chicken after chicken. You smell burnt chicken, and it goes away, at which point Champion F seems to do something that then allows him to scan the crowd of all the dead chickens, and you're not sure quite what that means.
Did she do it towards or away where Zeph saw
Away
the...
from the dais towards like the entrance they came. Basically, they went forward and then seared a path behind them, just killing as many chickens as they could, and then Champion F did something involving the dead chickens.
500 square foot of burnt chicken.
Pretty much. Leatrice, what are you up to?
I am going to try not to gag at the smell of burnt feathers, because that is not pleasant. I was going to start trying to make my... So this wall of fire, where am I in relation to
You
the
are
giant
on
wall
a
of
fully
fire?
different section of the arena. Remember, there's like a triangle. Imagine it's a triangle. You're at the top, and A, B, and D were on the lower left. E and F were on the lower right. E and F went towards the dais, so if you kind of draw a line towards the middle, about 2/3 of the way towards the middle, they then went 60 feet behind them and seared it back all the way through where they were, mostly to the door. Not quite, though.
Okay, so
Am I fairly safe if I start moving towards the dais and Zeph?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm doing. As far as I can go on one turn.
Are you, now, Zeph, you were heading towards the dais area, right? But not directly towards the dais, correct?
Right. I went towards the place setting, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
as I approached the place setting, I also happened to detect something over further, and I'm using where I stopped as a distraction point before I move on.
All right, so Leatrice, are you going to go near Zeph and Tabitha? You see Tabitha heading towards Zeph, or are you going to go in a different area of the dais?
I picked up on Zeph being like, guys, over here, so that's where I'm heading.
All right, you head over there, and then Zeph quickly says, I think we found it. And he points kind of casually, kind of in a huddle, to where you might want to look.
okay, do I have enough Do I have
Enough action on my turn to look there now?
Yeah, you just did your movement.
Okay,
Then I will look at that spot. You want me to roll a crappy perception check, don't you?
Indeed.
I'm going to roll a totally crappy perception check. It's what I do.
All right.
Told you.
Well, with his help, pointing it out, you know the general area that he pointed to, although you don't see any chicken glowing with magic.
Yeah, I think that's my turn.
All right, Zeph.
Okay, I'm going to move towards where I've been detecting magic and hopefully make some progress. And then, of course, try and narrow it down to a chicken.
So you definitely have it narrowed down to a chicken with the wand of detect magic that you had. You know, just because you're in that area. If you choose to point the wand in that direction, you know where that chicken is.
Okay.
It's basically a full movement away from you. And it's actually kind of, if you would imagine, north of the dais slightly, or actually south of the dais slightly. So it's a little beyond the dais, kind of heading toward where A, B, and D are.
Okay.
About maybe
I'm going
10 or
to
so feet actually on the other side of the dais, toward them.
move towards it, but look like kind of look around, but like keeping it in the middle of my scan, if that makes sense.
All right. So are you basically going to move to that chicken this round and try to grab it, or what are you going to
I'm
do?
going to try to.
All right. Let's see your roll.
You wanted to roll?
Mm-hmm.
Um.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I don't know if it's because it's laying a golden egg instead of a regular egg, or because it's been enchanted, or what, but that is one slippery chicken, and it slips out of your grasp. That is your turn. All right. Before I'm going to mark Tabitha that it is your turn next. I want to actually take 5 minutes here. I'm just going to take a quick bio break, but we're at almost 8:30, so it's a good time to take a quick 5 minute break here, everybody, to sort of get up, stretch your legs, get a glass of water, do what you want to do, and we are going to resume here in 5 minutes. Okay. See
Sure.
everyone then.
Sounds good.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to D&D Night on DDOstream right here on twitch.tv/DDOstream. Every Sunday, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern, we do tabletop D&D right here on the channel ODDO. And tonight we're doing a special one-off. I am Cordovan, the Dungeon Master for this evening, and we have got 4 people with me. We've got an Emmy, Evan, Lynn, and Alex. We're in the middle of the Queen's Game, which is a bizarre tournament to determine basically wealth for life. Their task is to find a chicken that lays a golden egg. Laid/lays a golden egg. And you found the chicken, but it still remains outside of your grasp. It is now Tabitha's turn. So, what do you want to do?
Well, I am still
But it still
petting
remains
Bertha.
outside of
Can
your
I see
grasp.
through her eyes yet?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to have her scanning around, seeing if she can get her eye on the weird chicken as I'm heading after Zeph, because I'm assuming he's conveyed the information to me since I got right up next to him.
Yep. Now,
Zeph?
are you actually just sort of randomly looking through its eyes, or are you able to sort of say, "I want you to do this thing"?
Well, let's see. I can hear what it hears, see what it sees. And I'm benefiting by any special senses that she has. So basically, I'm looking through as I'm a chicken. Where's the weird chicken? The one that was acting weird.
All right. Yeah. So, and you are over looking. You know, generally, at least the direction that Zeph pointed to, even though you two cannot actually see which one is the magic chicken as of
Right.
yet. However, you do place the. What are you going to? Are you going to try to throw the chicken over to it, or are you going to try to just place it down by your feet? Because remember, it is. It was a full movement away for him, so about 30 feet away from where you currently stand.
Well, I will put her on my shoulder, and if she wants to get down, she can. But having actually walked around with a chicken on my shoulder, I know it can work.
All right. And are you going to basically move on over to Zeph?
Yes, I'm just kind of moving up towards where he was talking about as I'm scanning ahead on the chickens.
Okay. Well, you get up to his location and are going to do what?
Well, have I noticed any of the chickens that look weird?
You're seeing through its eyes, and you can. It's looking at a chicken in particular, the one that Zeph just tried to grab.
I will try to grab that chicken.
With the other chicken on your shoulder?
Sure, she can hang on.
All right, give me a roll.
Okay, let's see. What would I roll for that? Athletics?
Yeah, that would be fine. All right, you've got it. And the chicken on your shoulders, although it's actually pecking at the golden chicken, I don't think it likes it very much. As a matter of fact, you get a sense from the chicken that, they have some kind of beef. There's something going on there.
It'll be okay, Bertha. This chicken is for somebody else.
All right, so you've got the chicken. What are you going to do?
I will start heading back to the queen.
Okay, before you start heading back to the queen, then, it's the end of your turn. I just, if you were to be like, yes, I raise it high up into the air and declare it whatever,
Not yet.
Okay, Disney, I see that you did a saving throw about danger sense. You do sense danger heading your way. They seem like they basically plan to take whatever it is you've got because they think you've got it.
Yeah, you did a good job. How far are they from me?
They're basically a full turn away.
Okay. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna make half a movement towards them,
All right.
and I will throw it really far up in the sky.
All right. Why don't you give me a strength check?
Oh Lord!
You know, it looked high to you. That's about the best you can say.
I'm done. I don't know what it's. This is not. Just done. Let's go. That's my turn.
Thank you
For making my rolls look good.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure, always.
So, champion A, B, and D basically do full movement along with a little bit of scanning to get to you, but they do not attack you this round because they have run out of basically actions to do so. Champion E and F do a repeat of the Wall of Fire. However, it is a specific angle. It looks almost like maybe they're doing some kind of map grid, and it burns another 60 feet of chicken, and the whatever he is does something or other. It's back up to you, Leatrice.
Okay.
Did Tabitha indicate to us what her
Nope.
allies? So I don't know that Tabitha has
Correct.
a chicken.
Yep.
Okay, I'm kind of looking at E and F and wondering if they're doing a grid at 60 feet, and that if they have one of those detect wands, because if it's 60 feet and they stand in the center, they could then survey that square very easily just by turning around. So I'm wondering if that's what they're doing. On the other hand, at this point, I still think Zeph is on to something with the magical detection he has, correct?
Yeah. I mean, you know that he was successful because he indicated silently to you that was the case, but you don't personally actually know which chicken it is. You know that he tried to grab a chicken. You know that Tabitha did just grab that chicken, and now it's your turn to do whatever it is you want to do.
I am going to continue moving towards Zeph or following Zeph, depending on how far away I am.
Yeah, you're there. You're there. You have another. You can do an action check of some kind, whatever it is you feel you want to do.
What the heck? I will grab another chicken.
If they are close enough to me that I can whisper over the cacophony, I will let them know that I'm pretty sure I have the chicken.
Are we close enough?
Give me a perception check.
Oh, my perception. You've seen how I roll perception. Why didn't you give me proficiency in perception?
I just make characters quick. All right, that's good enough. That's good enough. You hear it. You hear what exactly do you say?
Pretty sure I have the chicken.
All right. So you hear her say, "Pretty sure I have the chicken."
But there's two chickens on me. I'm holding one, and there's one kind of on my head. So take that as you may.
Okay, can I kind of mouth to Tabitha, would it help you if I held one of those for you?
Yeah, what are you going to say to that?
Yeah, I'll tell Bertha she can hop over onto Leatrice.
All right. Yeah, that's there. So you grab Bertha.
And I'm going to mouth Tabitha. If it looks like the other teams may be figuring this out, I'm going to hold up Bertha and yell, "It's her! I've got the chicken with the egg!"
Farewell.
Okay.
Who will also
Yeah.
I'm not going to actually yell that now, but I'm letting Tabitha know that if the other teams start closing in on her, I will use myself and Bertha as a decoy.
All right.
And Bertha should also detect his magic right now.
So Bertha doesn't detect magic exactly. It was more, does Bertha recognize that this chicken is different? In which case the answer was yes. And
That
so,
means if one of the others scans the chickens, that she probably will tag as magical right now
oh, maybe.
as a diversion. Although it doesn't say anything like that, so that's up to you.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. All right. So we basically ended up with Leatrice doing that. Zeph, what are you gonna do?
Okay, as a bonus action, I'm going to cast a Sanctuary on Tabitha,
Excellent. Okay, done.
and then which I'll drop on her in a second, and then I'm going to start escort moving with her because she goes right after me, so I'll just go with her towards the dais, I guess. There's that.
So while you're doing that, you basically get to the dais at the end of your movement as a group, and people are definitely seeing that you're holding a chicken and walking toward the dais. The thought does occur to you that until it is determined that this is indeed the chicken that lays the golden egg, that you're open to attack from every other champion
Right.
in the arena. Okay, just want to make sure you are aware as you're walking toward the dais there. Okay.
Yeah. That's why I'm with, and why the Sanctuary.
Okay. Okay, so you get to the end of the dais then and cast that sanctuary spell, and that is the end of your turn. Tabitha, you are now over by the dais. I assume that you're okay with this plan? Okay, so you're over by the dais, and you've got what sure seems to be the magic chicken, as far as you can tell. It's actually give me a quick perception check.
Okay, hold on. What?
Okay, still good enough. Because of your abilities in the past, it's not like a 1 or anything. Its eyes are golden.
Very well. Am I up to the dais where the queen is?
You are.
I will. I'll say, my lady, I present to you the golden chicken.
Okay. So
And jump up on the dais as I do so.
you notice that when you actually step onto the dais, you feel a sense of magic surround you. And then you quickly realize it's that amplification effect that the wizard had cast on the queen. So when you then said that out loud, my lady, I found the chicken, it is amplified across the entire arena. At which point the arena erupts in cheers. And that sounds great, except the queen has not actually done anything yet. She's kind of just letting the crowd do their thing. The chicken has not yet laid a golden egg, and all of the champions, including ENF, who remember went to the dais and then turned around, basically about 2/3 of the way to the dais and then turned around, are well aware of what you just said. All right.
I will crawl under the table with the chicken.
Okay, and that'll be the end of your turn. That sounds good. You've got it just enough to crawl under the table with the chicken. Disney, what are you going to do?
Oh boy.
You basically have 3 champions that are what it's appeared to be up until this moment ready to attack you.
Okay. So, as I'm going to do this, I'm going to say beneath my breath, oh boy, I sure hope this all ends once they find this golden egg, and I would like to rage.
All right, that sounds good. You enter a rage state.
And I'm going to hit A, champion A.
Okay. And you can just drag it over on the grid map like you would any Fantasy Grounds attack.
Oh.
All right, you strike Champion A with your battle axe, correct?
Indeed.
All right, you grievously injured Champion A, who you can tell up close might well be a woodsman ranger type. He took a very, very serious blow.
Come get me. And that would be my turn.
All right. So Champion A is going to take a disengage action and try to run toward the altar. Champion B and D are going to do the same thing. And they are now doing a full, basically, disengage, full movement.
Can I get an attack of opportunity on one?
They're disengaging.
No, not with a disengage action.
I
And they are over by the dais. However, they had to take that disengage action. They are not attacking you, and they are out of their actions. However, Champion E, the one who casts the walls of fire, turns to Tabitha under the table and casts Magic Missile.
Okay, so she will have to make a DC 13 Wisdom save.
Okay. And let me do a real quick check what the Wisdom bonus is, if there is. Yep, Wisdom 14, so 14, so made it.
Okay, so then she can attack her.
All right, so it is 3d4 plus 3. 12 points of damage to you, Tabitha. And you are splatted with magic missiles. Champion E hops up on the table and yells, "Until the egg is laid, that chicken is not yours." Champion F
Are you
give me
saying?
a quick second.
Okay.
Casts blindness on you, Tabitha. Does that also need a wisdom check?
Yep. I can just drop it on him.
All right.
you
Succeeded on that check. And so now, cast blindness on you. You need to make a constitution save there, Tabitha.
Okay. Now let me ask, if I can see through the chicken, do we both have to be blind?
Good question. I'm going to say no. And you made your save anyway, so it's all right.
Yeah.
You were tempted to be blinded by Champion F. So Champion F is at least a spellcaster. That much you know. Leatrice, your turn.
I am going to... Bertha, brace yourself. I am going to hold up Bertha and say, "Thanks for the diversion, Tabitha! Now I can take this chicken and win!" And then I'm going to run
in the
opposite direction of Champions E and F as fast and as far as I can.
So boom, 80 feet later.
And I'm a monk,
Okay.
so I'm pretty fast.
All right. So give me a performance check.
Performance! I have a -1 on this. This is not
Because you're trying to basically lie, it didn't sound very convincing. It kind of sounded like maybe you were the one trying to be the distraction.
Bertha, act like a chicken that lays golden eggs. Does Bertha do anything?
Hard to tell if Bertha recognized that or not. All right, so you're running away, and that's away from E and F. Basically, now, are you running toward ABD and Disma, or are you heading back north really towards your entrance?
North towards my entrance. Like, will I be able to get out of there if they come after me?
Yeah, you could.
Okay, I'm headed for that entrance.
All right. You think you hear some of the crowd booing. They think maybe you're running away. All right. Next
Yeah, I'm running away.
is Zeph. What are you going to do?
All right. Cast Bless. That's up to 3 targets within 30 feet. So I think that's me, Tabitha, and maybe
chicken?
Dine. Does this mean?
Disma?
I think.
Yeah, that's
Actually,
fine.
never mind. Zeph, Tabitha, and the chicken. Bless.
Okay. Sounds good. You cast that. And anything else? What else do you want to do?
And then I'll basically get in a defensive position near Tabitha to try and.
You could
Yeah.
actually essentially block the space between EF and Tabitha if you wanted to. Because remember, she's hiding under a table, so you could get toward that end of the table and just sort of block it with your body.
Yep. I'll do that then.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Tabitha, what are you going to do? You kind of need to get that chicken to lay its egg, maybe, if you can.
Yes. So basically, somebody named her in the chat. So what's her name? Her name's Poxy. And so I'm petting her. And I'm talking about how good of a chicken mom she's going to be. And if we just go ahead and do that, we can go like get some food, maybe get a pizza or something, some watermelon.
All right.
And petting her and calming her down. And I'm sort of wrapped around her so she can't really see everybody else. Like I'm making myself into a nest for her.
That sounds fantastic. Now, because of some of your abilities, is there anything you have, like animal-wise, that would make sense here to do as a role to try to convince this? Or are we really looking at something like a performance check?
Animal handling.
Yeah, animal handling would be fine.
Your animal totem barbarian.
Yeah.
He's got proficiency in animal handling.
I don't
skills.
have proficiency in animal handling.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
Right underneath acrobatics, above Arcana.
Yeah.
I know where it
It's
is on
just
the list.
basically wisdom there.
So, wisdom. Okay.
All right, give me a roll. Oh, I know you have bless, right? So
Yes.
that's 1d4 for it.
That's a great roll.
I'm sorry, Jerry, what did you say?
And then you also get a 1d4 on top of that.
21.
All right. It worked. You can't believe it. It worked. You calmed her down. You felt like you could feel the chicken's body there. Now, this chicken presumably had a golden egg inside of it that it biologically felt the need to get out, especially because it was like a rock. It was really not fun, right? Despite being magicked, it wanted to get rid of it. But, I mean, in the same way that perhaps being told, wow, is your baby going to be big before you've given birth is not the most pleasant news to hear from your doctor. The chicken feels the same way and needed that opportunity to relax. And your work as essentially a what are they called? A
Midwife?
Yeah, as a midwife there, really just worked. It seized the moment to lay the egg, and in your hand lays a golden egg.
Wow.
I raise my hand up. I stay under the table with her, but just raise my hand up above the edge of the table with the egg. Behold!
All right. And a hush falls over the crowd. The other champions immediately just collapse. They know that their gig is up. They see the gold sparkling. They heard the voice. The crowd's silent. And then the cheering starts. and people cheer and cheer and cheer. You have won the competition for your team. Except, what was that about a bonus round? After what seems like hours of applause, that was probably just minutes, the Queen holds her hand up and says, "Congratulations, you have won the Queen's game. As a bonus round, I would offer the same boon of lifetime wealth to one person of your designation, if you choose to partake of the bonus round. What say you?"
Wait, is our whole team not included in this thing?
No, but one of your loved ones or someone you designate will also receive the award, but only if you accept the bonus round.
What do you think, guys?
Find out, do you lose it all if we lose the bonus round? Like right now, we've got wealth and riches and everything we want for life, but what if we lose the bonus round? Do we also then lose all that?
Well, assuming you survive the bonus round, then no. This will apply to a designee, or you will still get to keep, as are the rules of the Queen's game.
Okay.
Assuming we survived. Well, you got the golden egg, Tabitha. Your call.
Well, I would like my Uncle Joe to get his own farm. So, as long as you grant these chickens, Bertha and Poxy, their lives and make sure that they as well are treated like royalty, then
No way.
we will do it.
No way.
Are you gonna say something out loud there, Disma?
I am just looking at her and just face palming.
I'm glaring at Disman going, "Shut up! Chickens deserve good lives too."
That sounds fine, the Queen says. It sounds like we have a bonus round.
It's only like a gold piece of upkeep for
At which
entire life.
the audience cheers again. When there's silence, the Queen says, "Now, you must prepare a beautiful omelet with this golden egg. We will all sit down on this table. We will all consume the omelet. And if we all live, then you will win the bonus round."
I feel a lot of constitution checks coming on.
So, you have a few minutes here to kind of think about how... Now, okay, so let's talk a little bit about the size of the egg here. It is larger than normal.
But how do you make an omelet out of a gold
Let's
egg?
say, but it is ultimately one egg that's being split among everybody. That should be fine, right? But how are you going to cook it and make it digestible?
Didn't say we couldn't use other eggs, did she?
And she did not.
Okay, gather up all the other eggs and we'll use this as the shavings on top for color.
How are we going to shave it?
But the
With
sharp
A big old axe, like, do something as delicate as that?
gold is soft.
Yes, gold is very soft.
It's
So-
soft, but shaving it is another story. I mean, it's
see.
definitely like hard, compared to a regular egg. It's probably pretty hard.
Yes, there is edible gold leaf.
But yeah, I'll
Got anything, Zeph?
yeah, we can use this magically sharpened longsword and start scraping.
Yeah, you could definitely shave it off. That seems like a possibility.
Okay, so what skill would cooking fall under? Survival.
Performance. Survival.
Survival. Maybe even medicine, depending on, in my case, deception. But
Medicine I can help with.
So okay, so let's gather up the regular eggs from around, from Bertha and the others, and
All right,
I have some.
That's doable.
rations, and what else does anybody have? And we'll make an omelet, big omelet for everybody to share, with garnished on top with the golden shavings.
Okay, so give me directions based on what you currently have available to you, how you are going to break, cook, and prepare an egg.
I mean,
I don't really have any items, but I can take the eggs and like pummel them into scrambled eggs with my fist. There will be bits of shell in there, but that's very high in calcium, so it won't hurt you.
I have a
Oh.
mess kit and a tinderbox.
All right, so you have a mess kit that should get you there. So you've got the cooking utensils down, basically good enough. How are you going to cook it?
Basically, I will break. So we'll get how many people? Like 6 eggs, 10 eggs from around the field.
Okay.
Break them all into the mess kit. I'll make a little fire and scramble.
Okay, how are you going to make the fire?
With the tinderbox.
Oh, okay. Well, you've got tinder, so you can get a little fire going, but there's no firewood here.
I have
You can have my hand wraps. I'm not using them.
Then I've got some vestments we can add in there.
Okay, so you guys are going to take your clothes off.
Just
And
my
I
hand
have a
wraps.
javelin that I'll
kind
bust
of
up
monk.
for wood, and we'll
Okay.
use the hand
Do you want
wraps,
to
and the
use?
tinder and stuff.
Do you want to use the chicken that's been kind of already burned?
There is an awful
Oh,
lot of
that's
burnt
a
chicken
good
around.
idea. So if Desmi, if you'll dress a chicken,
Yeah.
we'll make a
I'm going to
chicken
start chopping
omelet.
some chicken.
I don't eat meat, so I just want egg.
Okay,
We'll make a pile of each, and we'll have a vegetarian omelet and a chicken omelet.
that sounds good. Okay, and you're going to try to shave off the gold pieces. Who was going to do that? Was that...
Zeph, I
Yeah.
think.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
so
Yep.
Zeph, give me a roll. And Disney, let me know kind of how you're going to contribute and give me a related roll.
I'm going to do the chickens. I'm going to chop up chicken.
All right, give me a roll for that.
Oh, Lord. It's going to be survival, I guess.
Good enough. I mean, it can't be that difficult. You didn't... It took you a little while to remember the plucking bit, but once you got that down, it really wasn't too bad. All right. And, Zeph, well, you gave me a decent roll, too, so... yeah. What specifically were you doing again?
I'm shaving the egg.
Oh,
with,
right, shaving the egg.
magic
Right.
longsword.
Yeah, you're able to get it into some decent shaving material there. I'm going to have Leatrice real quick. So what are you going to do? You were actually walking towards the exit. What are you doing here?
Yeah, now that it's all over, I'm turning around and I headed back to the dais.
Okay, and so what would you like to do?
well,
I have taken off my hand wraps and give them to Tabitha to use as fuel with the tinder.
Right. Okay.
And I can just take my fists and like scramble the egg, pound the eggs and scramble them all
Okay,
up.
so
and-
you're going to be in charge of breaking the eggshells and scrambling the egg.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, give me a roll.
Acrobatics? I don't know. Sleight of hand? What kind of roll?
It's all fine. Really, whatever you want to do.
I
I want to do insight. Oh, for crying out loud.
Okay, so first problem.
Okay,
The pieces of shell in the omelet may be bigger than I thought.
Yeah,
they were
so
going to be.
unfortunately, the shell is now crushed in with the mixed splatted egg with your hand. That didn't work very
Damn,
well.
that's exactly what I was going for.
So, real quick, Zeph, it's your turn. What are you going to do?
All right.
You have succeeded in doing what you were going to do. Everyone did
I'm
their
gonna
action.
shake
You
it.
look over and see Tabitha with a basically gigantic mass of, thankfully, not. You hadn't added the gold yet, so That's good.
Right. Um, we're
By the
gonna
way,
have to
just
sift
if you look,
that.
eggshells actually are very high in calcium, so if they're pulverized throughout the egg, that's actually really good for us.
Hard
Yeah.
to
And
eat, though.
I mean, I'm gonna-
non-toxic and edible.
I'm good. When we've finished, I'm going to purify it, but via purify food and drink, so none of us get
Ooh,
sick.
fantastic.
I happen to have that today, because I didn't know what we were going to be doing. So I will assist her in the work she's working on and picking out any large bits.
All right, give me a roll, too.
All right.
Maybe dexterity or something like that.
Okay. I was going to go with perception, but sure.
It's hard to get eggshells out of an egg.
It is.
It really is.
Oof. Dexterity. Yipe. Okay.
Hey, all those years training led you to this day, and you successfully get basically most of the eggshell out of there. I mean, the queen's gonna eat it, but
Right.
it probably wouldn't kill her.
Not when I'm done. All right.
Does anybody have some salt and pepper or spices or
I
ketchup
always.
material?
Yeah.
Always
So
carry salt
Tabitha,
and
what would you like to do? Actually,
Yeah,
you're working on
that's
kind of a
what
fire
that
here
is.
going. So you see the eggs with the eggshell, and you see the ingredients appear to be largely done. You've got a little fire going with your mess kit. Are you going to combine the ingredients, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, I'll basically fry up the chicken. So how many? There's probably a couple of pans in the mess kit.
You
Is it
really
like one of
basically
those?
just have one large pan here you're dealing with, but it's fine.
Okay, I will basically brown the chicken in the middle, make sure it's nice and cooked, and then kind of move it to the edge, and then whisk the eggs in the middle.
All right, that all sounds good. Give me a check of some relevant skill.
And if anybody has any herbs or spices or anything, we can add that.
Anyone got, what is it? There's some spell that allows you to do that.
Let's see, what kind of incenses? Oh, if
Oh, very nice
prestidigitation.
roll, however. So that actually, I mean, you're not a bad cook. You're certainly competent, and it looks pretty good to you. I mean, the gold didn't melt, but it's not that
Thank
much
you.
gold.
I'm gonna put that in last, like sprinkle it, like it's almost like it's a cheese topping.
All right.
I mean, they do
You put edible gold leaf on chocolate, so it should be fine.
Exactly.
So how long are you going to cook the eggs?
Until they're soft and fluffy. You kind of do it by eye.
Okay, so they're now soft, fluffy eggs mixed with very hard chunks of gold, surrounded by kind of a bed of pretty well done chicken. Looks pretty tasty.
I didn't mix the gold in with it. It's like a garnish on top, like
Okay.
spray.
Okay. So you did that after you
Decorated.
cooked the eggs. You just sort of sprinkled it on top.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, it's lukewarm gold on top of looks like a pretty good dinner. I mean, the food looks good anyway. The food part of it, anyway. Are you?
And I want to put some nuts in there for my rations. I have a bit of nuts in.
All right. Like something like walnuts or something like that, maybe.
I'm gonna put a little bit of walnuts and a little bit of dried fruit in there.
All right. Oh yeah, a little bit of dried fruit. That'll do. So are you going to keep kind of cooking it up a little bit, or do you just want to let it all just sit there?
That's going to
No,
be
this
a
is for
garnish as
Tabitha.
well.
Yeah, this is for Tabitha. Are you going to just kind of keep cooking it to warm up those?
Yeah, no,
herbs
I'm
and stuff, or
basically so we're getting like a big plate from the table or a tray or whatever.
Yep.
And so the eggs will kind of be in the middle, and then the toppings and stuff around it, so you can kind of make your own plate. with the things that you want. Kind of like taco night.
Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds good. All right.
I like this idea.
That's fine for us, but the queens will have to be made, and I'll start as a court functionary, making sure that happens on that one plate. Right.
Give me give me a roll.
Would help the queen let
Actually,
her choose which items she wants.
Sorry, I kept interrupting there. Could you repeat that, Tabitha?
Yes, basically ask Steph if he will be the queen's, I don't know what it's called, butler, and set her up a plate with the ingredients that she would like. However he does that.
All right, and Zeph, I would like you to give me a relevant roll.
What the heck? Like, here's something I'm good at.
No,
That has a class feature, background feature.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
So that's fine, though. That's fine. So here's the thing: it is certainly competent. It's put together okay. I mean, you certainly know how to serve the queen, so there is no issue there. There's no issue with the way you presented the plate to her or any of that kind of thing. Ultimately, however, though, you gave her a plate of kind of dried fruit with nuts and hard metal gold on top of a cooked egg with chicken. So you can tell it was a big swallow as she prepares to perhaps eat her own words here. And that actually leads you to kind of wonder a little bit, why would the queen want to risk her own life?
That
Actually occurred to me.
That was my first thought, actually.
Okay, so everyone is basically preparing food. You see what happens because you're all at the table together. It's seared in your memory forever. I mean, you are sitting at a table with the queen and the wizard king himself. Is there anything you want to do?
Cast Purify food and drink.
Excellent choice there.
I'm going
Right.
to pour them a little bit of water for my water skin.
Because it's a 5-foot radius sphere. So
Does anyone want to do anything to pursue the avenue I just mentioned?
I have a theory on that. Do you suppose that she wants to poison the king or someone else, and she thinks that by getting us to prepare the food, she'll be able to do that, and it will look like we were the murderers?
Well, now it's occurred to me.
Well, now you put things like that.
doesn't cross my mind.
I mean, you know how to serve royalty. You're just serving the queen, is that correct?
That we're serving. She said everyone, so
Yes, but you said you were just serving the queen.
yeah, mine is for the queen. What I was doing, but I'll be getting all the food in the purification process.
Oh, look, I'm a dwarf. I just fix it and say, hey, help yourself.
Right, and that's what everybody.
I
else
mean, is it possible that she just knows that, gold is non-toxic, so she knows nobody's going to die, so she's not really risking her life? But she thinks if she makes other people think that there's something wrong with the omelet, that she can slip the king or whoever some poison, and people will blame us.
Am I onto something?
And then I guess we'll sit down.
All right. So you're all sitting down, staring at a plate of. I mean, let's be honest here. It certainly looks amazing for being made out of a fire made of t-shirts and tinder on a mess kit with some egg that had eggshell in it and chickens that have been freshly killed by a barbarian who didn't really know how to prepare chicken. So it could be worse, but you're all sitting there looking at your plates and You're not sure if the queen should eat first? No, you should eat first, right? No, or do you
Nope.
wait for the queen? Who's going to
Queen's
take the
test.
first bite?
Does the queen have a tester? Does she have her poison?
No, there's no tester here. They
then I guess-
are just kind of... Everyone is looking down at the plate.
Zeph,
Are
offer
you
your
going to
tester.
take the first
I'm going
bite?
to.
You are? Okay.
Can I offer to
So that
taste?
she knows that
plate?
why I'm doing it. I'm doing it as your poison taster's not here. Your
Well, lady,
Majesty.
let me go first before you put your life on jeopardy. Something like that.
Yep.
All right. Well, give me a relevant constitution check or something similar.
Can I chew?
Let me tell you, don't roll under a 5 and don't roll a 1.
It rolled off the table. Try that again.
And onto the floor.
There we go.
All right. Well, it hurt. It wasn't exactly fun swallowing chunks of gold, but it worked. I mean, certainly at the end of the round, about, say, 10, 12 seconds, whatever, we're going to fudge it a bit.
Are you still
You haven't
smartless
kicked
yet?
over and died, right? So, Tabitha, what about you?
Carry on, your Royal Majesty.
All right. Tabitha, are you going to eat?
Sure, I'll dig in.
All right. Give me a roll. Again, actually could have been worse. You barely even felt the gold, you think. All right.
It's not too bad.
Disma, how about
I'll
yourself?
go. Yes.
Uh-oh. So,
It's not 5. It's higher than a 5.
yeah, there's a little bit of choking going on. Give me a performance check. Oh, no. Unfortunately, you cough up the egg and the gold back onto your plate and are going to have to take another bite. The queen goes and, with hesitancy, takes a simultaneous bite with the king. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. Both the king and the queen put it in their mouths. They chew. And at that point, the queen swallows while the king chews. The king goes, ah! And you hear a crunch. He must have had some eggshell that hit his teeth just the right way. And I think you might have broken one of his teeth.
Sorry.
And the queen goes...
No
and
way.
falls over to the ground, starting to choke.
I run
What
up
do you
to her. I'm doing.
Are we
Nope.
sure it's
No.
turn? Because I
No.
mean,
I have a
I
healing kit.
perform the Heimlich maneuver. Do I know the Heimlich maneuver?
Yeah, you can give like a medicine check. I mean, certainly adventurers
Okay.
have to know how to stop someone from choking, right?
I have the healer feat, which is
Oh,
I
for
know how
crying
to
out loud. Queen, I am very sorry. I have crappy dice.
You have the healer feat. Yep.
And I've got 2 healer's kits on me, and medicine as a.
All right, give me a medicine skill check
Okay.
with advantage. All right. Well, she is no longer choking to death, but she is not exactly well. And you put your arms around the queen's waist and went, "Pwah!" And that is a gasp from the crowd. You touched the queen and disgraced her by grabbing her Well, she did that. So, after a few minutes, the queen stands up and says, "Well, are we ready for another bite?" There's one more bite left on this plate, if you want to finish it, or if you don't.
I do.
Okay. So, give me another round if you want.
I have actually not taken a bite yet. You skipped right over me.
Oh, did I? Oh, sorry.
But
Well,
I
it's because
will.
the queen went, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
That kind of, yeah. Yeah, let's make a constitution check. I'm probably going to fail this.
Oh, nice.
Well, so everyone manages. You didn't roll so poorly that anyone has to worry about that. Now, did I get that right? Who has not rolled yet? Zeph. I don't see a roll from you, right?
No, I ate first.
Oh, but this is the second round. Remember?
Okay.
Okay. So, do you want to give me another roll?
Sure.
All right. Everyone is okay. Leatrice, you manage okay. It's certainly not pleasant. Now the king and the queen take their last bite.
Man, if I were the queen after what just happened, I would not.
The
take that
king
last
is looking at his. He actually pulled out his tooth that got cracked and is staring at it. He did
Sorry.
swallow the rest. He looks at you and goes, "Well, I'm not dead." At which point, the entire arena erupts in cheers. And you have won the bonus round. So not only do you get to have a life of leisure for yourself, but also for a designee. Any kind of thoughts or final things you want to say to the audience or actions you want your character to do here before we wrap things up?
I would
like to rescue any of these still unburnt and unharmed chickens and make sure they have pleasant lives.
I mean, there's like 10,000 of them.
Okay, I would like to rescue the half dozen or so closest unburnt, unharmed chickens and take them home with me to my new estate.
All right.
Is that
I'm
what
going
you
to fly with all my
prefer,
new convictions.
since we're in love?
Yeah, that sounds good. Leatrice
It's worth it.
Leatrice ends up being a chicken animal rescue farmer for the rest of your days. What about you there? Anyone else want to let me know how you spend your life of leisure?
A lot of women.
And meanwhile,
All right.
I will be furthering my future legacy and hopefully trying to get a knighthood.
Feathering? Really?
Furthering.
Oh, furthering. Okay.
I like feathering better.
Okay.
I mean, there may be a rampant chicken in my heraldry if it comes to pass, but
Tabitha and Bertha go on many adventures together and eventually retire to Leatrice's chicken rescue farm.
Sounds great. All right. So, before we wrap things up, just want to say the show is sponsored by Fantasy Grounds. You can find out more at fantasygrounds.com and get a free account. This has been D&D Night on DDOstream. We will be back next Sunday for more. You can always find us right here on twitch.tv/DDOstream. Sunday night, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern. Thank you very much, Emmy. Thank you very much, Even. Thank you very much, Lynn. Thank you very much, Alex. And thank you very much, everyone who watched the show here tonight. You can watch the archives both on Twitch and on YouTube. Say goodbye, everybody. Have fun.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys. Thank you for watching.